Nintendo did a really bad screw up earlier today. Someone at Nintendo, they did a stinky. The typing of the script is before Ubisoft's presentation, and specifically because recent rumors were arising in a really short time that Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle would be getting a sequel. This is something I have danced around once before, Mario plus Rabbids getting a new game. Not in my E3 predictions for this year, but in my February Direct predictions, way back in February, which is kind of funny. And come this morning, someone at Nintendo revealed the official website for Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope. And that is hilariously deflating. Like, someone could have at least waited at least one more hour, just one more, before showing it off. Someone definitely got fired over this, I'm pretty sure. This practically mirrors also how Mario plus Rabbids was leaked and rumored for such a long time. And now this happened right before Ubisoft's presentation for E3. And as bummy as it is getting these spoilers, personally, I managed to dodge most of the details surrounding it besides the fact that it exists. It's hilarious how they couldn't just wait, like, another hour or two. Oh well, it is what it is. So, once the trailer and gameplay showcase drops, I'm going to insert my reaction and then give my whole thoughts on the entire matter, so it'll be a 2-in-1 in this video. A reaction and then my actual thoughts, the whole discussion. Needless to say, the idea of Mario plus Rabbids getting a sequel is incredibly enticing to me. The things I can think of are wanting more playable characters and crossover elements. I want Daisy playable in it. I want Rosalina in there somewhere. Rabbid variants of those two as well. Wario and Waluigi to actually appear. A slightly more out there and cool story as well. The story for the first game was solid, but I think they could do a little bit more in a sequel. That's what they tend to do. And of course, new abilities and mechanics added to the gameplay already. I think the current battle system is great. They can just expand on it with general stuff. I waited, and now I see Nintendo uploaded both the premiere trailer for the game and a gameplay sneak peek. So now I have to come to terms with, yes, we're getting a sequel to Mario plus Rabbids. But I'll refer to the Ubisoft Forwards presentation first before that, if those two, primarily the gameplay sneak peek, are different from what Ubisoft showed off. And don't let this video distract you from the fact I just uploaded a video on why I believe Dr. Eggman would be a great addition to Super Smash Bros. This whole Mario plus Rabbids thing came up as I was making that video, and I was hoping that video would perform well. So don't let this video take away that other video.
We're so excited for you all to check out this next game.
I am too!
I can't wait to get my hands on this one.
Same. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Oh, you see Rabbids up there in the upper right corner. Okay. A Ubisoft game. Okay, they're going to space. That's actually really sick. Mario looks so good. They always animate Mario so beautifully in these. No. No. Mm-mm. Oh. Let's just chill. Don't do it. No. Oh, that kind of looks unholy. Okay, maybe not that unholy. I don't know. The trio's back. So is like this the super merge like spreading throughout the entire universe? Rosalina should be in this if a Luma's gonna be in this. We're getting Rabbid Lumas in this. Okay, that's not that unholy. Okay, no, that's a little bit cute. I can dig that. Let's go Mario, Luigi, and Peach too? And Peach. Wait, what was that? Oh, he got dual-wielding guns now, that's... What the heck? Oh, that's a second Luma. Oh, God! Oh my God! Rabbid Rosalina is lazy as and I can dig that. Dude. She's like what everyone thinks Rosalina is when she's not at the Comet Observatory. She's just chilling in her bedroom or like a living room or whatever and just being lazy as hell. I completely dig that. Oh my God. What the heck? So we're going back into space, thank God. Okay, that's a little bit creepy. Is that supposed to be like Meowser? That's not Meowser. The resemblance to Bowser's somewhat there. Oh, Peach has a cannon attached to her umbrella now? Oh my god. Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. Sparks of Hope, that's what it's called. Oh, they updated the Rabbids logo now. Okay. Okay. What was that? That was it? Oh no, there's more, there's more. Yeah, I recognize this guy. He was at the last one.
Team is super proud of this new game, and I can't wait for you
I love
to experience it.
that the Rabbids legacy nowadays, their modern legacy, is just... Oh, they have a crossover game with Mario.
Mario and the Rabbids are back. And
Can
I'm
I have
so
that?
excited to be
Can I have
back as
that?
well today. Back into this unique crossover
That's
with
good.
even bigger ambition.
Even bigger
Expanding
ambitions.
our universe on a major scale.
It's more
This time
ambitious.
it's not just the Mushroom Kingdom. There is an entire galaxy to save.
So Rosalina has to be in this somewhere.
You will lead a brave
I'm not convinced Rosalina's not going to be in this. Like, they had rabbit combinations of Wario and Waluigi with the rabbits, but Wario and Waluigi were not in. Yeah, and other surprises.
on their quest
No, Rosalina has
to
to be in this
evil
game somewhere.
across the galaxy encountered before.
The CGI in this trailer was actually, like, immaculate.
By some surprises for later.
I'm content with them keeping surprises. Is Yoshi and Rabbid Yoshi not going to be in this?
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom battle.
Tremendous.
The entire team was moved
Tremendous
by the
success.
amazing reception from players across the world.
It was a
We
beautiful
were
game.
stunned by the love we felt for this unexpected team up.
Y'all deserve
We
it.
know if
I'm really glad this
Let's
game's
wait
getting
to
the
tell you
sequel,
more about the
man.
game soon.
There is an entire galaxy to save. And we cannot wait for you to experience it.
So the game's probably going to be even bigger. Gameplay sneak peek pre-alpha footage. Okay, so they probably... Okay. Okay. I don't need to watch both trailers then. We got Bob-Bombs in here. Yeah, they're using the same graphical engine. I mean, minus the plasticky look, the game is good to look at. It is a good looking game. Oh, I like Rabbid Luigi's new look. Rabbid Luigi got an updated design. He looks really nice. What the heck? Dude, there's all these weird, crazy looking locations and whatnot. Oh, wow. There's more... Okay, so it's not grid-based. Now it's based on, like, an actual circle. And it's not just rabbit enemies. You have to take out regular Mario enemies, too. I like to look at that big, beefy-looking guy. What the heck? Oh, God. What the heck? Oh, that's a new ally. I'm guessing those are the sparks. Probably some assist type mechanic. Oof. This game's getting the sequel, man! That's really sick. 2022. Okay. Damn, there's a lot of shit coming out next year. There's a lot of shit coming out next year. Okay, so I watched the trailer a couple times, and you just saw my reactions to the whole thing. Granted, I find it really oblivious on my part for not predicting a sequel to Mario plus Rabbids here. I did back in February, but not for this E3 this year, and yet an E3 showing of a Mario plus Rabbids sequel makes a lot more sense because this is a Ubisoft game, not a Nintendo game. The first game was revealed at E3 of 2017. You just piece the two together and it's logic. And yet, I forgot about that entire possibility until this afternoon. I just think that's kind of funny. But Mario plus Rabbids is getting a sequel. That's really freaking cool, and Sparks of Hope is filling me with a lot of hope. As far as my own experience with Kingdom Battle, I Let's Played the whole game a couple years ago, and basically managed to completely beat everything within it except for the Donkey Kong Adventure DLC. I heard nothing but good things about that DLC pack. I'll get to it at some point, but besides that, I had a blast with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I'm a hardcore Mario fan, and a semi-Rabbid enjoyer, kind of. I'm at least a Rabbids Go Home fan. and Mario plus Rabbids was genuinely one of the most surprisingly well-crafted games I've played on the Switch. The variety of weapons and classes the characters make up in that game, the intense amount of strategy in a majority of the combat, especially the challenges later on, the difficulty spike the game hits you with, especially again with the challenges, the level design, the writing and comedy especially. If you haven't gotten Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, now's the best time to pick it up and try it since it's getting a sequel next year. It's one of the most well-crafted and well-programmed third-party games I've ever played on the Switch, and it's chock full of plenty of comedy and funny writing to boot. Best part is, most retailers and people online sell the game for around $15 to $30. You're getting a big strategy game for a cheap price. Get on it now if you haven't. Another factor to help convince anyone who hasn't bought it, or for how well Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle did, the game sold over 2.5 million copies as of September 2018. 2.5 years later, we can all probably assume the game sold at least 3 million, maybe 4 million. But for a Ubisoft Rabbids game that's a well-designed tactical RPG, even if the Mario brand could be an excuse to claim it's what carried it, that's still something to be proud of, and the devs in that showing acknowledged how overwhelmingly positive the turnout for that game was. It sold very well, it got a lot of critical praise and love, the devs were surprised by it too, as they said, so it can't be understated how great of a game Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is. And because of that, so many people, including myself, felt the dev studio at Ubisoft behind the game designed it so well and were so talented with this craft, they deserve to flesh out the concept and scope of the game, since the first game is obviously really good and charming. But with the Mario world, you can go even further in all aspects: gameplay, writing, scope, location, story, etc. And the trailer and gameplay snippet for Sparks of Hope is filled with nothing but great things I'm completely on board with. It's almost everything I would have wanted out of a sequel for this game. I say almost everything, yet I've got nothing negative for this, which in comparison to the general response from the rumors of the first game prior to its official reveal, it's a complete 180 to here, as practically everyone's on board with this sequel from what I'm seeing. There are two semi-off tangents I'm going to make in this video too. First semi-off tangent, I kinda want Ubisoft to make the Mario movie instead now. Like, the CGI was so good, it was so enamoring, every single character was expressive as hell. So much character in just the facial expressions, forget their movements, the flavor in their character can't be understated because the animations here are basically what was in Kingdom Battle as well, like the actual in-game animations. Yet the Illumination people are the ones doing it. Likely because of the Universal Studios thing, but still, you get what I mean. They're expanding the concept of the first game as well, having Mario and Co travel into space to take on some malevolent entity, and I'm 100% on board. Anytime Mario goes into space, you're usually in for a great time. Mario Galaxy 2, Odyssey, etc. Putting Mario and the Rabbids in space just makes sense going for a more ambitious scope. Speaking of Space and Mario Galaxy, we have Lumas in this, as well as the obvious Rabbid Lumas as well. And here's the second semi-off tangent thing. Always gotta put out the Paper Mario in me and reiterate how Tanami and Intelligence Systems somehow have an IP team telling them which characters and designs are and aren't allowed. Yet again, Miyamoto completely gave the green light to not only Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle's entire character roster, but now with the Lumas, having the Rabbids face on them. I just need to remind y'all how much more BS the IP team claim, or just the design restrictions in general, whether true or not, are completely stupid. That said, the Rabbid Luma kind of warmed up to me very quickly. Some were like, oh god, what is this abomination? But I thought that at first, and like 5 seconds later, I was like, it's kind of cute in an ugly way, if that makes any sense. I don't know. They still look kind of cute to me. And whenever you have Lumas go, Rosalina follows behind, or in this case, at least, Rabbid Rosalina, and oh my god, I love Rabbid Rosalina. The stark contrast of Rosalina's composed, majestic, mature, gorgeous, yet mysterious character in most Mario games, and Rabbid Rosalina is aloof, lazy, cynical, she doesn't want to be involved, she just wants to read her book instead of saving the galaxy. I love it how Mario plus Rabbids gave sharp contrast between the main Mario cast and the Rabbid variant of those Mario characters as well, and Rabbid Rosalina is my favorite so far. She's a whole ass mood, I was dying during that, and I vibe with her so heavily. She even has a Luma doll with a string that has like a cannon in it. It at least looked like a cannon from what I saw. The stuff they're doing with the new Rabbid combinations so far are very fun. And even with the base cast, they got some visual updates and changes. It sounds like the Rabbid variants of the Mario characters are getting updated voices matching more the characters they're mimicking than sounding like any other normal Rabbid. The weapons they're getting seem to roughly mimic their previous weapons but have different designs. Luigi's using an actual bow and arrow this time, fitting his sniper role from the first game. Peach's shotgun's now attached to a Rabbid-styled umbrella. Mario dual wields 2 guns, which is low-key one of the coolest things I've seen. Rabbid Luigi got an updated design, him wearing overalls and an L on his hat matching closer to Luigi's design. Rabbid Peach now uses a rocket launcher. Like, even familiar aesthetics and even gameplay elements are getting quality of life upgrades, and a few of them getting different weapons entirely. Aesthetically, it's a solid upgrade from the first game in terms of sound, weaponry, etc., and they're adding some new forms of weapons, which will be revisited later. Their main goal is to rid the galaxy of this evil force. I'm guessing it's the giant purple robe-looking figure in the sky, and it's always nice to see these original characters and Rabbid combinations make up the antagonistic force in a debatable Mario game made by Ubisoft. The design for the final boss in Mario + Rabbids I wasn't too big of a fan of, except the familiar bits of the actual final boss fight. Some of you might miss what I mean when I say that, but this new foe I think has a slightly better design. Just a little. It's just a little bit better. The big burly Bowser looking guy looks cool too. I don't think it's based off Bowser. I think it's a more original design. Both the hair, the big buff physique, the color aesthetic does remind me somewhat of Bowser. Maybe it is, for all I know. I don't think it's supposed to be Bowser. You also have a blend of Mario enemies you have to fight as well, Bob-ombs and Goombas, so that extra variety is great to see too, and it makes you wonder if they'll push that envelope far at all either. And if we're going to talk about the gameplay, it seems basically as solid as the first, but adding new stuff to it. The exploration part of it seems to be a straight up upgrade in every way at least. I'd assume it's still a linear format like the first game. You're still tasked with going from point A to point B to complete objectives, but the first game's entire map/level design was completely linear and straight. Any seemingly slight breakaway portions of worlds would be where you fight enemies, so there are more battlefields than areas to explore. The game did have one-off pathways and small puzzles to do to unlock more of the main path, if not obtain collectibles, but it was all very straight, narrow paths and just generally linear. Not the worst thing, it's basically inoffensive when the rest of the game was still pretty damn fantastic, but it is something to take note of in this discussion. Because here, exploration's practically free roam and open amidst varying designs within the world. I think a majority of what we saw was only one of the planets, because a lot of the themes throughout the gameplay trailer you could kind of piece together as a part of one overarching theme and world. I think the main world they showed is based off Atlantis. There's this savannah-looking island with a little town in the back and a lighthouse, but there's this ruins-looking structure at the very beginning to the right with rabbits wearing shell bras and the statue. Part of the ocean in the back is completely missing. Then you see more beach behind the town, and there's a massive waterfall. The land Mario's running through when it rains is the former area I described. There's a rabbit with a massive backpack and compass icon, probably telling you where it's located with a giant ruins-looking water-themed structure behind him. This rabbit Poseidon or Rabbid Neptune or whatever with cardboard objects depicting as if he were Neptune or Poseidon. Mario rummaging a temple-looking area with fancy fish-scale-looking architecture, even in the battlefield. Like, you see these specific patterns repeat throughout, so I think they're showing us this is one big planet themed after Atlantis, and given you're going around a seemingly open planet, the world and general scope for the game is going to be bigger than the first. I'm completely all for it, given the design so far seems solid, at worst better than the first game. There were a lot of various areas, even specific to this Atlantis-looking one only. There is also a snow-themed world with a snow-themed mansion as well. I'm betting that's a separate planet/world altogether. But the entire scope and premise behind Sparks of Hope's setting and the worlds we were shown is giving me the impression that the worlds are going to be flat out bigger than before. Not only this, but the themes and aesthetic are just flat out more creative. They're taking the beach theme and going full on Atlantis with ruins and big waterfalls and whatnot. The first game did push some ideas here and there with some of the worlds. It had combining desert worlds with ice worlds, the ghost world having a giant theater, and the worlds themselves were pretty huge. The game only had 4 worlds, yet is a relatively lengthy 20+ hour game. But for the most part, it was all pretty standard theming in worlds. Grasslands, ghosts, lava, etc. So far here, the ruined Atlantis-like setting is much more specific and thematic than just the tropical beach world. The exploration in general also just seems generally better, and I'm looking forward to the open-ended exploration as always. I didn't even touch on all the characters either. Again, the big somewhat Bowser-looking guy is cool. There are these ghost-looking rabbits in the CGI part. There's this punk-looking rabbit chick that I think is one of the highlights for a lot of people in this. Her design's really good, she also wields swords, so a new melee weapon alongside a new character altogether, because no specific Mario character has this punk look. I'm looking forward to this character. Gameplay-wise, again, they gave Rabbid Peach a rocket launcher, Rabbid Luigi has a frisbee, Beepo's back and has a helicopter function as we saw him carry Rabbid Peach in the trailer. The punk-looking chick has swords. Alongside the battlefield aren't grid-based anymore. Now they're free-roaming areas within a circle, feeling it providing more general flexibility in your positioning. I presume the Rabbid Lumas are the sparks you're trying to save, but they also provide specific elements that change the field effects on the battlefield, like the fire-looking Rabbid Luma that vaguely resembles the co-op Luma from Galaxy 2. It rains fire towards the end of the trailer. I'd also imagine others give different abilities, and some might even provide status buffs to your team and debuffs to your opponent in some way. I don't know if this would replace some of the buff and debuff moves the characters could use in the first game, but it's a new element they're throwing that looks to be impactful to the game itself. All in all, there's plenty of creative stuff on display in many different areas, if not satisfactory ways of them expanding on gameplay elements of the first, expanding on the foundation the first game set, and you love to see it. The devs during the showcase kept describing how they wanted to make the sequel more ambitious than Kingdom Battle, and it does feel that way. The next adventure is in space. Mario and Co have to save an entire galaxy. There are entirely original new Rabbids in this. The villain's completely original, one of the worlds is themed after Atlantis, characters have updated designs, updated weapons and weapon designs, combat's updated with slight tweaks and new elements. This definitely feels ambitious within the confines of the first game's formula, while still retaining that familiar and great game design. I believe them when they say they wanted to do something more ambitious, and everything they've displayed thus far looks very promising. Now, there are some speculative bits I want to touch up on here. The website mentions how the total roster consists of 9 characters, and when looking at these trailers, I'm 100% convinced we have 8 of them already. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Rabbid Luigi, and Rabbid Rosalina are playable, but we also see Rabbid Mario make a comeback towards the part where the punk Rabbid girl shows up. He's smitten by her, and the Rabbid punk girl also beats up the ghost enemy looking Rabbids, so I'm guessing she's one of your allies. That's 8 characters already listed off. One hard confirm with this is that Yoshi and Rabbid Yoshi are probably not going to be here, which is upsetting as Yoshi was one of my favorite characters in Kingdom Battle. I loved his abilities in that game. Rabbid Yoshi was plenty of fun too, so yeah, it's sad to see them go. Rabbid Rosalina's existence makes me think Rosalina has to appear in the game in some way, shape, or form herself, especially since Mario is traveling in space in a spaceship. I'm not too sure about playable, but I'd be content if Rosalina made a cameo appearance of some kind at least. I hope she's playable, but I have some doubts, as I think I'm fairly sure the last playable character for this game, unless this game also gets DLC, which wouldn't surprise me, is Bowser. If you look at the box art, Bowser is right there on the cover. And we basically have every character except one, yet every playable character in Kingdom Battle was on the cover there. Plus Bowser was also in Kingdom Battle, so I'm assuming Bowser's the other last playable character, and that makes me wonder if he is, how would he look? Because there are a lot of ways they could make Bowser work for this kind of game, and it would be cool in most of those avenues. They wouldn't even need to give him a weapon to make him playable, and he'd still be cool as hell to play. There's some evidence, but I'm going with my gut as well and believe Bowser might be the other last playable character. As far as the creativity and ambition behind space travel, maybe we could see this bizarre toy planet or some breakfast-themed world. I don't really have a lot of expectations for the world themes themselves. I think they're going to be good either way. I also have to wonder if any other Mario characters will appear in this too. Bowser Jr. was in the last one, so I'm curious if he'll return too. I wanted Daisy in here. She's probably not going to be in here. I'd also have to wonder if Wario and Waluigi are making a comeback, and even more if Wario or Waluigi are on the table at all. They could chuck him into space. With the crazy science the Rabbids brought and the magic nature of Mario, pipes, warps, etc., they could chuck it on some planet we go to, I don't know. Not a massive loss if them or Daisy aren't in the game though, but still, the potential's always there. And it's coming out in 2022! Understandable. Have a nice day. It seems like development's moving along solidly, but when they announced the first game it only came out 2 months after, and it played very well. I feel like spring 2022 might be the best slot for that game. Like mid-spring, I can vividly picture this game coming out. All this said, I find it funny, the Rabbids' modern legacy now is that they're just in this crossover series with Mario. That's the Rabbids. That's literally it. That's all they're known for now. They're basically being carried by Mario, and I'm kind of okay with that. Not only this, Mario plus Rabbids is basically a franchise now. It's getting a sequel. This sequel doing well and being well received is the most realistic scenario given the first game, and that can be a realistic catalyst for a third game coming much later. Like Mario plus Rabbids, it's basically a joint IP by Ubisoft and Nintendo, and I never thought I'd be saying that. But especially given how great Kingdom Battle is and how fantastic the sequel game looks, that's really cool to think about. All in all, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is, at this moment in time, my most anticipated game of 2022, and it looks like an amazing game. Plasticky look aside, the first game's very colorful and pretty looking, and this game looks good too. The gameplay's the same with those extra mechanics and tweaks to make it be and feel different, and it looks promising. The concept and overall setting itself is very creative and very cool. Going to different planets to save Sparks is a great idea. Rabbid Rosalina is my favorite thing out of that whole reveal. The Rabbid Punk Girl looks cool. I'm curious for what Bowser's role in this game will be, and I just can't wait for this game! I did not watch the whole Ubisoft presentation, but at the very least, I think we can all agree Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope was one of the best things to come out of that. And this does involve Nintendo's mascot IP, so I'd still kind of classify this with Nintendo's E3 as well. Let's see if Nintendo will deliver an even grander game announcement or two this Tuesday. Odyssey 2, come on Nintendo, do it. Are you guys excited at all? Do you think this game will live up to Kingdom Battle, or do you think it'll underachieve? Or surpass the first game? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more coverage of primarily Nintendo's E3, but more Mario and Mario plus Rabbids content to come. Stay super.
哟，嘿，妹妹，嘿，过来呀！